like we're over here talking about losing your breath and being all, you know, weird for hospice and whatnot. And here I'm at over here probably sweating and whatnot because I'm over here chugging. Bam. What's good, Zoom? Can you see and hear me over there? You know we're here talking about long-term care, right? I had to show love to my peeps in long-term care, right? You boomers, we love you guys, right? Support our troops. Anyway. Behind the fourth wall over here, we've got Ronnie and David. So we're going to be bringing you the Spanish translation. And then David's going to be bringing you the digital translation, right? So all those words that are going to be popping up on the screen in reference to your replays when you hit the iPower Moves podcast. Basically, every one of those words and concepts are going to appear in the iFlash for You series that is in sync with this long-term care episode, all right? So remember, iFlash for You long-term care, LTC, iFlash LTC. That's the flashcard booklet you should have ready to go with this. So, long-term care, guys. What do we know about long-term care? Right? I mean, let's jump over this crazy guardianship situation. You think freeing Britney is bad? Yo, let me just tell you, at least Britney's alive. This lady right here pulled the plug and gave somebody who wanted to be resuscitated a do not resuscitate because their family didn't come into play quick enough to go ahead and basically save somebody's life. And then you just brought up a movie. What's that movie you were talking about?
I Do Care.
I Do Care?
It's a new movie. It's on Netflix. It's super good.
I Do Care. So if you want to be freaked out and you want to recap this long-term care piece and realize why you might need a product that helps you with your healthcare power of attorney, helps you with your living will and all those things, check out Netflix.
I Care a Lot.
It's I Care a Lot on Netflix, okay? Now, I don't want everybody out there get it twisted because I do not care a lot, okay? You don't want me being your long-term care provider. You'd be sitting there like, yo, Jay, come wipe me. Like, yo, you better watch the dog. You see how the dog scrapes on the grass out there? You better get out there. Anyway, let's get back to this, right? Because none of that stuff was tested. None of that was tested, guys. I swear. I know it sounds important, but it really wasn't. No, actually, it really was, though, right? We're sitting there talking about getting your. Can you imagine? So let's talk about this long-term care thing because in a nutshell, you can hear it in the words, right? Long-term care, right? So we're not talking about something that happens in disability income insurance, for instance. In order for somebody to qualify for a disability, their version of long-term care is it has to be at least 90 days, expected to last, somewhere in that ballpark of at least a year, right? Long-term care, for this discussion, we're talking about our seniors, acute illnesses, we were talking earlier, could COVID be an acute illness?
That was my question.
It really was. And I think originally I said no, but it's not true. It could become a long-term care situation because you might not gain. See, like over here, and we're going to jump around a little bit. So today, on this episode of I Would Like to Be an Insurance Agent, we're going to go ahead and jump through the 40 and 4. And what that 40 and 4 means, all right, is that this book is for the 40-hour class. You can find the outline of everything that's important for this entire long-term care section, which is about 17 pages, in the I Most Wanted Resources 40 and 4 LTC, okay? So, and that being the case, I am on in the Kaplan book, chapter 21.2. and I'm a little bit off target because it starts on page 242, but I'm over here on 243 where they talk about acute illnesses, right? So usually that acute illness is going to be like a bronchitis, a pneumonia, or things like that. But COVID really did just create a situation where if the disease got into your lungs, you will recover, but you might have lost lung function, right? That diagnosis of that loss of the lung function, assuming that you were going to survive and you had a long-term care policy, is a qualifying event because the treatment at some time for the COVID ended. They saved your life, right? The long-term repercussions is where your major medical would have ended, or your basic medical, right? And your long-term care would kick in because right here with acute illnesses, pneumonia. Well, pneumonia is killing your lung function, does it not? So I feel like I'm neglecting my Zoom. Yo, you guys are usually over here, so I feel like I'm talking to you, but you're live replay. So you're going to have, your on-demand is actually going to be better than their Zoom because they don't get to see me like this, right? Look, I'm still ignoring the live people. Why? Because you should have came to class. Anyway. Have we even discussed anything yet today? I don't know. Anyway. But yeah.
Let me tell you, the acute illness, he said the patient may also need some assistance with chores. That's what he was telling me.
Yes, with chores.
Because he said for a short period of time until recovery or rehabilitation from the illness is complete.
Yeah.
So that's what I was asking you, is COVID came into play? Because I know if people go to a hospital and be in the hospital, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 months, I know they losing, how you call it, flexibility, ways to do things. And I know a lot of people after, they have to go through rehabilitation, to start using their...
Yeah, and so I would imagine it really is more of how it impacted them, because when we look at the pneumonia, well, bronchitis is bronchitis listed in here? Influenza is, so that would be your bronchitis, right? So literally that's kind of what they're saying here, But we're over here having this high-level second paragraph conversation.
But we need to explain what long-term care is.
Right, we do. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and we want to make sure that you think we're dazzling. So we're literally going to read from the Kaplan book, and then we're going to reiterate it the way humans speak. You know what I mean? Not those financial advisors and attorney types. Nobody wants to talk to you people. Anyway, so Americans are living longer, and many can expect to live a substantial portion of their lives in retirement, right? It's funny that they want to go ahead and act like the American dream is all about this long-term care retirement thing and that you're going to go through retirement. The fact of the matter is that if you remember when we were talking about Medicaid, right? If you don't have anything, you can't care for yourself, and this was to happen, Medicaid will cover your long-term care, right? Mm-hmm. But let's get something straight. When Medicaid covers your long-term care, it's not like they're going out of their way to give you crappy service. But if you don't have a plan, somebody else has a plan for you, and that plan may not be in your best interest, okay? So a long-term care policy is basically, if we were talking about financial advisors, is not a good retirement plan where you're putting money away and you can afford to be on your own. Is that not a version of long-term care? So basically, long-term care is like a slight step down from a very in-depth financial plan. Because if we were going to identify financial independence, for instance, see, we're going to have to work on your Zoom, guys, because I'm now out of my seat. I was all comfortable in this little swivel rocking chair and stuff. So, David, you got to remember, Zoom goes at the desk, all right? We gave them the cheap seats. I feel bad, my bad. But yeah, so if you think about this introduction to what is long-term care, a really good financial plan like me, I'm after jet money, I want boat money. I'm gonna wear my black socks. I'm gonna be rolling around on the deck of my boat. I'm gonna have a captain. I'm gonna stewardess and be like, everything, yo, come wipe me, whoops. Right? So depending on what your financial plan is, you really could afford somebody to help you out. If you didn't make it that far, and we go to the extreme opposite, then, and you have nobody to help you, then Medicaid is going to help you. And you're not getting the private room, and you're not getting a butler and a captain, but you are getting a semi-private room, and you do have people to take care of you. For everybody else, for let's just say, that working middle class that we hear so much about, it's almost, I would have to say at this stage of life, it's like almost an upper middle class thing for people to have, in-depth retirement. Long-term care is that piece where we're saying, hey, I might not be able to afford to have Alfred go get me everything, but I also don't want the chick that works at Popeyes who just got picked up at the long-term care facility to be helping me either. It's somewhere in between. That's where the insurance of long-term care comes in, because now we're talking about the facilities. We're talking about, in some instances, around Florida resort living, right?
It give you the cost, the average cost.
Yeah, what's the average cost now? Isn't it about $4,000 for some basic service a month, right?
Yeah, the book said $80,000 a year for nursing homes, and $3,500 if you're gonna have somebody at home taking care of you.
Yeah, so now that $80,000 a year, I'm pretty sure at $80,000 a year, you've got some good amenities, all right? Yeah. Like they got you out, they got you in the pool, they're moving your arms for you, $80,000. I'm gonna expect some service for $80,000. Yeah. Hey Kelly, do you know long-term care, $80,000, they put you in the pool and move your arms for you? We need to talk. Just want to make sure, look, anyway. You guys are going to meet Kelly after you get licensed, right? Because all of these sections right here, some of you are going to be selling long-term care. Some of you are going to be selling Medicare once you finish with your pre-licensing class. These segments right here for long-term care, your insurers are going to require you to take a long-term care prep course. These are your questions, guys. This is what they're going to cover. So you love how pre-licensing never comes up, right? What are some of the top questions? How much do insurance agents make? How long is this going to take before I start making money, right? And I heard I'm never going to use pre-licensing again. Nonsense. We're going to use pre-licensing all the time. If you want to sell long-term care, basically it works out to be one of your continuing education classes is an 8-hour course on on long-term care, right? All the stuff that we're talking about now with case studies. The next time you go to renew your CE, it's 4 hours. 4 more hours of nothing but long-term care review. So, is this section going to be relevant for life?
Yeah.
For the rest of your life, yes. And actually, it's relevant to life insurance. Why? Because the stuff that we're going to discuss in here, life insurance policies have what's called long-term care riders on them, right? But you're not in the life class. I'm not going to tell you about that, so mind your business. Mind your business.
No, and I tell you, Jason, it could be relative to anybody, because in my family, we're going through this situation. I was talking to a friend last night that she went through this situation with her mom. So even though we are taking this class to get prepped for the test, it will be part of our life.
Yes.
Parents, grandparents. I mean, the more we understand this, the better we can prepare our own family.
Do you see what I love about this right here? This is the Chief Financial Officer resource, right? This resource, guys, this isn't designed for us as insurance agents or me as an insurance school. This is designed for all of us as consumers to understand the minimum standards associated with the things available to us or the things that we can access. It's really important because we forget, I'm an insurance agent. Well, I'm an insurance customer. Whose side is the state on? It's on our side. Why? Because the chief financial officer is an insurance customer. Is he not? Yeah. The homeboy right there, he could have got stuck in long-term care. He wants to make sure they're going to they're gonna rotate him on that bed every once in a while, you know. So I lost my page here.
You want me to explain this in Spanish? That first section. What is long-term care for our Spanish?
Yeah. No, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's switch it up. Right here. This is on the Zoom, right? So see that? This is why we got Ronnie here, right? Because I go on these tangents, and then Ronnie comes up and it's like, hey, Jason, can we please explain in Spanish before people get lost? Because some of these words don't even translate, right? Yes, I told you, we're here to support our troops, all right? Yo, Ronnie, take it away.
You want me to go there? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So over here, you're pretty much good. I got you right there. And then,
Right there. And
yeah, you're good. You're real good.
So todo bien, Jason.
Todo.
Todo.
Yeah, you try to mess with my limited Spanish vocabulary
At the end
here.
of the class, Jason is going to be fluent. David and Jason, they're both going to be fluent in Spanish, eh? Bueno, la parte de long-term care, como decimos en español, tenemos buenas noticias y malas noticias. Good news and bad news, right? The long-term care is right there. Because the good news is people are living longer. Estamos viviendo más tiempo, ¿no? Ahora mismo las estadísticas dicen que muchas personas a los 65 años todavía le quedan 20, 30 años de vida. Entonces, imagínense, 20 o 30 años de vida, como dice el libro, pero tal vez tener que lidiar con mala salud, ¿no? Estamos hablando de ingreso limitado y mala salud, una mala combinación. Lo bueno es que vamos a vivir más tiempo. Lo malo es cómo vamos a vivir ese tiempo, right? So ahí es que viene long-term care. Eso era lo que estaba hablando Jason. Y long-term care para mi familia hispana es cuidado de largo plazo, ¿no? Cuidado de largo plazo o cuidado extendido, donde la persona va a tener esa protección, ¿verdad? Y está hablando el libro en cuanto, pues, enfermedades que escuchamos más y más, Alzheimer, enfermedades cardíacas, parálisis. Dentro del círculo de mi familia, dentro del círculo de mis amistades, hay muchas personas que están sufriendo de esto. Y el costo de este cuidado extendido cada vez es más alto. Dice el libro, como estábamos mencionando, que puede ser $80,000 al año por estar en un sitio. Ellos le llaman un nursing home. Nosotros, en español se dice hospicios. Dice el libro la palabra hospicios o geriátricos, dos palabras que yo nunca había escuchado. Así es que yo hablo un poquito de Spanglish, ¿no? So ahí vamos a usar la palabra nursing home, right? So ya ustedes saben que este cuidado, estamos hablando de un sitio específico, ¿no? Y dice hasta 3,500 en tener ayudantes en el hogar, gente que puedan ayudar a estos familiares. El beneficio, como mencionó Jason ahorita, obviamente si la persona es indigente, si la persona es pobre, como decimos nosotros, si no tiene activo, pues tal vez Medicaid, right? Medicaid is the one, yeah. Medicaid puede entrar y ayudar en ese momento, pero la persona tendría que estar completamente indigente. Así es que la solución para este problema, pues es ese cuidado a largo plazo, la parte de long-term care, que es lo que vamos a explicar en este momento. I covered the first part. You want me to go over la 2.1?
Yeah, keep going.
Ok. So, cuando está hablando de los cuidados a largo plazo, ¿verdad? Es algo diseñado para ayudar a la familia a poder ser independiente. O sea, dice que puede ser que se esté recuperando de un accidente o una enfermedad, lo que Jason estaba hablando ahorita, y vamos a hablar un poco en cuanto a enfermedades. Bueno, en inglés se dice acute illness, en español es una enfermedad aguda, que era lo que Jason estaba mencionando, como el libro dice neumonía o influenza, ¿no? Pero también está lo que se llama enfermedades crónicas y ahorita vamos a hablar de eso. La idea es que se refiere a un periodo prolongado, normalmente más de 90 días. O sea, que la persona va a estar en ese cuidado por más de 3 meses, ¿no? Y dependiendo la gravedad de la enfermedad, pues entonces se va a decidir qué tipo de atención va a tener esta persona, ¿verdad? Ya sea en un hogar de ancianos o un nursing home o ya sea directamente alguien que uno tenga en la casa que los ayude. Pero ahí vamos a la parte del costo. ¿Por qué esto es tan importante? Bueno, porque el costo promedio te dice que es 77,000. Dice en el 2014 subió 2.6, 77,000. O sea, está hablando de $212 por día. Esto es costo promedio, gente. Yo conozco personas que obviamente viven en un estado y ellos buscan estos nursing home, hogar de ancianos, tal vez en lugares o estados que sean más económicos, ¿verdad? Pero como quiera hay un gasto, es lo que queremos llevar. O el que alguien te ayude en la casa, pues te dice que si se le está pagando $20 la hora, pues puede ser $41,000 al año. O sea que no matter what, no importa si es en la casa o es en un nursing home, como quiera va a haber un gasto, ¿verdad? Que hay que incurrir. Y entonces, obviamente, si la persona tiene activos, si la persona tiene dinero o cuentas de ahorro o cualquier tipo de cuentas de retiro, se le van a agotar bastante rápido si empieza a usar ese dinero para pagar por estos servicios. De ahí es donde viene esta protección de long term care. Okay, Jason, I covered 2 parts. If you want to go over the 2.2 and 2.3, then I covered that one.